Hey guys, I'm Marshall Sparkman, former captain in the United States Air Force, and I want to talk to you today about VA loans and the minimum credit score requirements. Why are we talking about minimum credit score requirements? Marshall, my credit's good, or Marshall, my credit's trash. Nobody's going to help me. There are so many misconceptions about the VA loan. You can look up the guidelines for yourself in Chapter 4, the section where it talks about credit. The VA, guys, actually does not have a minimum credit score requirement. The VA doesn't care about what your credit score is. However, they do have some credit content requirements. The biggest content requirement is they want you to be at least 12 months past your most recent or derogatory item on your credit report. So if you've had some hiccups in the past, that's perfectly fine. Bad things happen to good people. It's not a judgment of your character or who you are, but they do want you to be past that circumstance. For example, they want to make sure that you're healthy, you have a healthy financial situation. If you're making late payments over and over again, constantly, you just can't seem to get ahead, you probably don't need to be buying a house. And that's the way that the VA views it. So you want to be 12 months past your most recent derogatory credit event if you have low credit scores. Usually low, I mean below a 640 or so. If you're if you're above a 640 and you had a late here and there, they're probably not going to say anything. But if you've got a history of derogatory credit items, if you've got collections and judgments and late payments all over your credit or some repos, you need to be 12 months, but you need to have your financial situation cleaned up. You know, I always tell people it's like, look at it this way. It's like you get a gash on your arm and you're bleeding. You don't go to a plastic surgeon and say, hey, make this look pretty. The first thing you want to do, guys, you got to stop the bleeding, right? Let's stop the bleeding. Credit is no different. You got to stop the bleeding first. You need to make sure that you got a job. You're getting back on top of your bills. You're able to make your payments on time. You're sticking a little bit of money into the bank, right? Before you go to the plastic surgeon, which is me, to try to get a loan, let's make sure you've stopped the bleeding and let's get some stitches in it and clean it up so it doesn't get infected, right? The last thing you want is further infection on your credit situation. So VA does not have minimum credit score requirements. The VA has credit content requirements. Listen, if you're concerned about your credit score or whether you're going to qualify for a loan or not, it's too easy for me to look at your credit. And with my experiences specializing in VA loans, working with a ton of veterans, I know the VA guidelines inside and out. Not that I know it all. I'm constantly stumped, right? I've got an amazing underwriting team. Now, they know the answers inside and out. And if they need clarification, we just pick up the phone and call the VA Regional Loan Center to get further guidance on your situation. So if you've been turned down by another lender, don't think that's the end of the road. You need to call me to get a second opinion. Actually, we can go down to as low as a 500 credit score. Although the VA doesn't have minimum requirements, our minimum requirement is a 500. But just keep in mind, if you have had a string of late payments and derogatory credit, you need to be at least 12 months past that. So you need to be in the healing process, back on your feet and ready to talk to me about buying a house. So I want you to get in touch with me if this is you. If you've been turned down for whatever reason, let's talk through it. Even if you're not where you need to be right now, I will tell you what you need to do to fix it. Here's a spoiler hint. You need to be 12 months past your recent items. If you are 12 months past, let's talk. I can more than likely get you a house. The only caveat to that is if your derogatory credit items were caused from extenuating circumstances, meaning an event that was out of your control, such as could be a loss of job, it could be death or illness or something like that happened that was out of your control, then you stand a chance at possibly getting a loan, even if you've had derogatory items in your credit in the last 12 months. Guys, at the end of the day, the VA just wants the deal to make sense. They don't want me or any loan officer out there to get you in a position that's going to be detrimental to your financial success. I want to help you get in a house so that you can build financial foundation. It's literally what saved my life. When I got out of active duty, came back from a deployment, and I was in a tough spot. And buying a house really is what kept me alive, guys. I was able to focus my energies and my efforts into my fixing up this house. Ask me about my story later if you want to hear more about it. But in the meanwhile, get on my calendar, give me a call. Let's schedule a time to chat through your situation and see what I can do to help you.